Welcome to Body Sculpt of New York 6 Weeks to Fitness podcast, where we hope to inform, motivate, encourage, and inspire you towards living a healthier lifestyle. And now, here's your host, the president of Body Sculpt of New York, Vincent Ferguson.
Donnie Lygonis is the founder and CEO of Mellanmar, Inc. He has given numerous TED Talks. He is a seasoned entrepreneur and innovator with a passion for creating impactful ventures that blend technology, health, and sustainability. He has founded several successful businesses, and his latest venture is Mellanmar, Inc., a US-based company that imports healthy Swedish snacks to the US market. And I am very happy to welcome Donnie Lygonis to my 6 Weeks to Fitness podcast. Donnie, how are you today?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me. I mean, it's a bit late now. I'm actually in Sweden now. So, I mean, the sun is just about setting now. So the lighting is a bit dark over here, but I'm great. Everything is fantastic. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm really pleased to be here.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. But you have such an impressive bio. I only read off a little taste. But tell my listeners a little more, and my viewers a little more about you, Donnie. Besides being the CEO of Mellanmar, what else is it that you do?
Oh, sure. I mean, sure. Okay. The short version is, I've been working with innovation and new ideas in companies, my own and other people's companies, for the last 25, 30 years. The last 15 years, I've been working here in Stockholm at the biggest tech university as a innovation strategist and business coach for researchers and students here at the university. So, helping them realize their ideas, so people coming to me with ideas for everything from, you name it. You name it, we've had it. So, everything from nuclear reactors to apps for whatever, pet care, everything. We've gone through about 4,000 ideas so far since I came in, and I'm helped build that department. So that's the last 15 years there. Apart from that, I've run a bunch of companies myself, and I've coached a number of entrepreneurs myself. My latest food startup was actually also here in Sweden, was the first high protein, low sugar ice cream on the market, which was a pioneer thing. We could do a podcast just on all the crazy ideas that I've tried starting and I have started as well. And, lessons learned from that. That's another hour easily.
Really?
But so that's there. And then, of course, having spent some time in America as well. I've been traveling over to the US every year since 2012 with Swedish startups, and also then spent a year in California in 2015-16 because the Swedish government sent me there to help start a place in Palo Alto in California to actually have an actual house to receive Swedish and Nordic startups coming over as a soft landing spot. So I spent I lived in San Francisco then and commuted down to Palo Alto. And that's when I got the idea for starting out Mellanmar in the US as well. So that's in 2016. Yeah, wow. That was a short version.
Very short, yeah, but I know you have an extensive bio. It's very impressive. And it just shows how passionate you are in what you're doing, which is great, man. If you're passionate about something, just say if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life because you enjoy it,
Exactly. It's people ask me what I work with, or when people say finally the weekend, they say, right, or finally the holiday, and I go, finally time to get things done. It's like there's always so much to do, and there's always but thank you. I appreciate you saying so. But that's it's been a wild ride, and I just love trying things that I think might work to see if they will work. And I love helping people with ideas. That's what I do. And that's what I do on a daily basis, is help people realize their ideas. So I help people, accomplish their dreams. It's fantastic. The best job in the world. It's the best thing. You meet people, they say, hey, I have this idea to fix this important problem. And then you get to help them do that. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Problem solving,
Yeah.
It's quite amazing. But now you are the CEO of Mellanmar.
Yeah. Yes.
So let's talk about that, because I know that Mellanmar brings nutritious protein bars to the market. Well, what does Mellanmar stand for?
That's actually That's a really good question, because I wanted to actually start by saying that, we're not a bars company per se. I mean, Mellanmar, the word Mellanmar is Swedish, and it actually means middle meal. So it's like, instead of saying snack, which is more of a sweet, like a sweet pick-me-up snack, like you have a Snickers bar, or you have a, brand name not mentioned, sweet bar, or wherever you have, a cupcake or something. A mellanmål is actually a smaller, more savory, foodie meal. Like it's a crisp bread with some cottage cheese and a half an avocado, more of like, more of a mealy type of thing. And that is a very, very Swedish concept of having a mellanmål. You have a top-up meal between meals, instead of, but the problem is that people, I'm going off on a tangent here, but we can talk about nutrition as well. But, people have this, they get this craving, and then they think that they need sugar, and they need and then they stop themselves with sugar, and they get a sugar spike, and then they get a sugar crash. Yes. And they get, drowsy, and they get the 3 p.m. crash, and then they're drowsy. I mean, and even as a company, you don't want your employees sitting as zombies at 3 p.m. not being able to do anything. You want them to have like a level blood sugar level. Yes. So you need better top-ups through the day. So, well, with Mellanmar, we're not just trying to bring bars to America. We're trying to bring the concept of a different way of eating, a different way of adding to your energy during the day, where you don't use sugary snacks to keep your energy up. You use more, it's more like slow carbs, protein, things like that. Like if you're doing dairy, I mean, in the Nordics, we eat a lot of dairy products in the Nordics, milk-based products. So we have lots of, like kefir, like soured milk kind of things. We have quark, which is another like almost pure whey, actually. We have lots of cottage cheese that tastes really good, as opposed to other cottage cheese, which I won't. So what happened to me when I came to the US and lived there for a year was I went down to the supermarket and I couldn't find any mellanmål. I couldn't find any good, solid snacks. Good
healthy snacks. Yes.
Yeah. So then I had this idea. I just had this idea that, heck, I need to bring mellanmål to America. Not just the product, but the concept. We need to teach people how to eat better, how to take care of themselves in a better way. Because I was in a terrible state, because I was walking around and I couldn't even find good things to buy. I went and and there was like so many processed foods and so much sugar and starch and wheat. I mean, that was the only thing. Like, it was muffins and waffles and cupcakes and,
yes.
and that kind of thing.
Welcome to America.
and zero protein, zero slow carbs, no dark bread. I mean, I grew up with crisp bread and rye bread and the whole sort of grain, that thing.
Right.
Very little of that. So that was another thing. So that was the first sort of, this is a very long answer to a very short question, but the whole idea was that we need to bring mellanmål to America. So then I started the company, and then, of course, I came back to Sweden. Everything took longer time. This pandemic thing came in the way and everything like that, But now we're up and running. And then actually the Redo bars, or the Redo, I mean, they have other products than bars. The Redo bars is actually the first of many products that we're bringing over. The first of many products. So we started there, and I decided to start with something that I knew was a good product. So Redo is actually developed by two friends of mine. One of them is an ex hockey pro, ice hockey pro, Pierre. And I don't know if you know the Redo story, but that's it's incredible story himself, because he was playing ice hockey on a professional level, the national league in Sweden, and he also had a stint in the NHL. And he is lactose intolerant, and two, he's the kind of person that has a hard time eating breakfast. Huh. He's not hungry in the morning, but he was an active hockey player. He needed energy. He couldn't just go off and not have breakfast, right? So So he started, mixing his own things in the kitchen and shakes and things and whatever. And that was actually the start of what then became the Redo company. And I met them early on, him and his wife, Linda, when they were just developing this, and I helped them get started. And then, so when I started this up, I mean, this was like an obvious first product to start working with, because I knew that they needed my help to get into America, and I had connections there since I built up a network of people for the last 4 or 5 years, in both in sales and distribution. So then we started working on Redo. Well, actually, to be honest, it was like January this year, 24, when we had the first products in country. And then we've been working very sort of focused on getting into retail and working with retail sales brokers, and really working the retail side. We're just opening up online now, so we're just now on Amazon. We're just now online sales as well. So now everything is picking up nicely. And then of course, we don't intend to become a bars company. So the next product I'm bringing over will not be a bar. There will be something else, because I want to widen the whole Mellanmar concept, so people don't think that Mellanmar is only bars, right?
Okay.
So some other products coming over as well, which I promise will be equally fantastic.
Really? Oh, excellent.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the thing is, I want people. It might sound like a cliche, and I know everybody says so, but I want people to, if they're figuring out what is good to eat, what can I pick here from the shelf, and I need a mini meal, a middle meal, like I need something small to sustain me. Then I want them to look at our brand Mellanmar and know whatever comes through Mellanmar is good. It's okay. I can do this.
Right.
And if it's a beverage, or if it's a shake, or it's a bar, or if it's crisp bread, or whatever it is, I want people to feel confident that we've done the groundwork, we've got the whole nutrition together. I mean, the Redo bars is the first protein bar. It's plant-based, by the way, lactose-free, completely plant-based.
Right.
It's the first protein bar to be to have the Swedish Olympic Committee's stamp of approval as good fuel, right? Because there's this national program in Sweden. Because in Sweden, there's been a huge debate about athletes and eating disorders, because so many athletes have sort of fallen into the online, social media trap, where people mistakenly they mix up being shredded with being fit.
Yes.
Which is not always the same thing. I mean, you can be thin and shredded, but that doesn't mean that you're fit. That doesn't mean that you can run a marathon. That doesn't mean you can carry a rock for 8 hours, right?
Right.
So there's been a big debate in Sweden about, we need to just talk about eating healthier. Athletes, they need fuel. I mean, the best athletes out there, their biggest problem is not being able to eat enough. I mean, I don't know if you remember Michael Phelps, the swimmer. Yeah. I mean, he ate like 12 pizzas and everything else, because he was burning like a furnace, right?
Yes.
So his problem was, I can't swim faster if I can't eat more. Wow. And then people have this thing that, okay, well, then I'm supposed to sort of starve myself because I need to look good and I need to be shredded. Right. But if you're an active person, and if you want to actually be able to be fit, and you want to build some muscle as well, because building muscle, as you know, here, I'm not trying to, but building muscle is the best way to lose body fat, because if you can burn more, you lose more.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and those, so you need to figure out the math, and that's what the Olympic Committee did. Then is that we'll start a program, we'll call it Good Fuel, and then we'll pick products that have the right composition of carbs, fat, and protein, and then we'll give them the stamp Good Fuel, and then they can use that. And Redo bars was the first bar to get that stamp.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Very impressive. You know?
Yeah, and now they're actually, this is quite, I just spoke to Pierre last week. I mean, now they're actively working with all of the nutrition coaches of the Swedish National Hockey League and the Olympic Committee in developing new products. So it's going to be super cool to see what comes out of that. I mean, we have them for the US, so that's going to be awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
All right, so it's going to be all about brand awareness when it comes to letting people know that this company is only going to be putting out the most healthiest products. And now, and speaking of Redo, because that's the product that I was exposed to, that I was given, okay, and I love it. I think it's awesome. Now, it's a vegan bar, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, does it have, how much protein does it have in each bar?
Yeah, exactly. I think it tops the list of protein when it comes to vegan bars. So I mean, it has like what I don't have the numbers now, but I think it's like 12 grams of protein per bar.
Okay.
Which is I mean, we can come back to that, of course, but I mean, I think that's the numbers.
Now, are there other vegan bars out there, other vegan protein bars out there?
Yeah. Yes, there are, but very few of them have. I don't think any of them have the amount of protein that we have in them. I mean, I remember. I mean, this is actually a true story as well. I was in let's see, I'm actually checking the here protein. Yeah, 14 grams per bar.
Good.
So it's 14 grams per bar, 24 grams per 100 grams, so 24%. So yeah, 14 grams per bar. So it's actually a very high protein count.
Yes.
And I mean, I was actually, the thing is, like 4 months ago, I was in the US and I was doing a store check. I was going around looking at bars and checking out the competition.
Right.
And there was this lady she was looking and she was checking all of the bars, you know, and I asked her, excuse me, sorry, I don't mean to, you know, but what are you looking for? Is there anything special you're looking for? And she said, I'm looking for a vegan bar with protein.
Really?
Because my son is a college American football player and he is lactose intolerant and he needs a good solid, you know, but he needs a protein bar, but he can't eat any of these because these are all, you know, based on milk whey, milk protein.
Right.
And we haven't found one single bar in vegetarian or vegan that suits his needs. So then, you know, so I sent her, of course, I sent her a box.
Great opportunity, great marketing.
Yeah, I know. And she was like, sort of, this is amazing. This is just what we're looking for. Like, it's vegan, it's plant-based, saves the planet, and it saves my son. It's perfect. So yeah. So yeah, and it again, it's. I think that's. I mean, now we're talking about the bars because I think you have to. I mean, there's like a number of different kinds of bars, right? So you have the energy bars. I mean, but they are high on energy, very high carb count.
Right.
You have, you know, lots and lots of sugar. If it's not sugar, you'll have what's it called? I can't remember the name. Fig. You know, figs.
Oh, figs. Okay.
Fig paste, which is also very, very sweet and very, very. It's like honey. It's like very, very sweet, like syrupy kind of thing. But that's the energy bars, like for triathletes and other people who are really, you know, high energy users, right? So the energy bars over there. And then on the other side, you have these 0 calorie protein bars, you know, with no sugar added, the 0, 0, 0, nothing. And that's just protein, which is usually milk protein. And then it's just a bunch of additives to make it taste sweet.
Yes.
And we're like kind of in the middle there, because this is, again, I mean, this is like more or less scientifically devised to be the right combination of protein, carbs, and fat. So slower carbs in a there. Yes. So people come to me and they say, hey, but this one has sugar in it. It has carb. Yeah, but it's not a 0 calorie bar. This is a full middle meal that will keep you going through the day. Especially if you're active.
Right.
I mean, like, you know, but it's not a full-fledged super sweet Snickers or energy bar.
Right.
It's not there. So I mean, so this is fine. I mean, this is good to. I mean, it's fine to indulge with, but it's not a you know, it's not a zero, they're not designed to be 0-calorie protein bars, because that's a different kind of product for
Right.
different kinds of people.
How much sugar is in each bar?
It is, the carb count is 17 grams per bar, and it's each bar of which 11 is sugars. I mean,
Different types of sugar?
not only sort of added sugar, but there's also rice rice syrup in it as well. But 11 grams. So 11 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein in it. So I mean, so it's the bar is built for an active person.
Right. You'll burn that off.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now I've tried, I know you guys, you have 3 different flavors, right? Now I tried the chocolate, I tried the salt caramel, I love it.
Yeah.
And I tried the raspberry, but my favorite was the chocolate and the salted caramel.
Yeah.
All right. What was the reason why you created those 3 main flavors?
Well, it was mainly, you know, based on, you know, what do we see out there, what's going on at the moment, and what do we see? I mean, salted caramel is one of those flavors that have come up, you know, the latest like 4 or 5 years in all kinds of products, what is big everywhere. Chocolate, always a big thing. Always a big thing.
Oh yeah.
And then the raspberry was because we wanted to add, you know, some kind of another different twist to it. The one that's selling the best today is the salted caramel, actually.
Is that right?
Yeah. We actually now have 5 flavors.
Really?
Yeah. We just got 2 new ones over. I haven't had time to send them to you yet, but of course, but I'll make sure to do that. As soon as we hang up, I'll get the shipment going. So we have the mocha latte, which is a coffee flavored one, which also is infused with caffeine. So there's a double pick me up effect on that one.
Exactly.
That one is super popular in Sweden now. And then there's one called Swedish chocolate ball. Because that's actually, and this is kind of I will say an oxymoron, because this is actually based on a traditional Swedish sweet snack that people like, and it's like oat chocolate and oat flake balls that are rolled in coconut flakes.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a super popular thing, and it's really nice. So it's oats, like steel cut oats and chocolate and coconut. Really good. And that bar is actually the second best selling bar right now, the Swedish chocolate ball.
Really?
I'll send you a box over as soon as we finish here.
Wow, man, that sounds really good. I like to try them. I really like to try those out.
Yeah. No, but and the thing is that I must say that, and I'm of course, it might sound like I'd say this anyway, but the response we've had so far in the US has been tremendous. I mean, we've had some incredible reviews, and my salespeople that are out in stores, you know, I don't know how many purchasers they've met in stores, and so far, touch wood,
yeah,
not one has said anything bad about the flavor, about the bars. Everybody says this is a great bar.
Yes.
And you know, so that I believe this is going to be a huge thing, because I think they taste really well, but they still have the exact right, you know, composition between not being super sweet and not having tons of sugar, but still not being the empty protein bars. You know, it's a good, wholesome, like small meal there. So yeah, I think.
I do believe you're onto something. I will say that because I did taste I tasted the bars and I shared it with some of my people. And they love the bars. And I'm like, I think you guys are onto something. I've tasted others, and this is by far one of the best, if not the best I've ever tasted.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm not being paid to say that. I'm not a paid spokesperson. No? All right. But who would you say your target audience is for these bars?
Yeah, well, that's also a good question, because I mean we're seeing now. I mean we're seeing some groups that are sort of faster on the uptake.
Mhm.
We're seeing active women in 25 to 45.
Active women, good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's people that are active in the sense that they go to the gym or they do yoga or Pilates, and they keep going, and they need something to sustain them between meals. They might be working moms or whatever.
Mhm.
Fits in their handbag, easy to carry, and that it's this is a good top up during the day, right? It's
A meal
something good.
replacement too. A meal replacement.
Exactly. So that's one big group we're seeing. Another group, which is indirectly connected to them, is moms that care about what their kids are eating.
Ah, nice.
Because don't forget that this product was also designed and developed because when Pierre, the hockey player,
Hmm.
his son Douglas, when he started playing hockey as like a 9-10-year-old, he was also lactose intolerant, and he also needed a good snack, and so that was that doubled their efforts in saying, hey, we help us build something to actually so we can feed our kids, so we can actually give our kids and feel that we're not just giving them candy or
Yes.
and that, I mean, I think that's one of the problems with the general sort of protein bar market today, is that you have all of these protein bars that are they're only protein and then zero everything else.
Yes.
Which if you're going to build muscle, and if you're a growing person, a growing body,
Mhm.
you need everything. You need carbs, fat, and protein. You need the whole package.
Yes.
Because if you go into any store and you buy and say, I want to gain muscle, I want a gainer, they'll give you a bag which is protein and carbs,
Right.
right? That's a gainer
Yes.
to build muscle. So if you have a growing child, especially if you're an active growing child that plays baseball or in this little league or whatever,
Mhm.
again, we're seeing that this is something that moms feel comfortable with. This is something I can give my kids. We have some personal trainers on the West Coast, and she's one of our ambassadors over there, and her daughter, who is also super active, she loves them, and she has them as like a snack to school when she needs something to pick her up, instead of going and buying a candy bar, which is only sugar.
Yes. Oh, most definitely.
So there's some I'd say maybe the two groups that we see are growing fastest, like active women 25 to 45,
Mhm.
and then the moms as well, who care about their kids, and we love catering to that group, because I mean, nothing gives me more pleasure than if I can say to parents that trust these products to give them to your kids. It's not just sugary
Treats.
breakfast. I don't want to say any brand names here, because
Right. Right.
I'll probably be sued or something. But there are other products that are 98% sugar and then nothing else. So yeah.
Yes.
So I'm
That's a good answer, because one of my questions to you, because I work a lot with women, middle-aged women, and sometimes and a lot of children. And my question was, is it safe for children to consume? Because obesity is a major issue, and we're not feeding the kids enough of the good stuff. They're getting a lot of high sugar foods, and they're not burning calories. So it's important that we're feeding them more nutritious foods. And you're saying that your bars that you're creating, the products that Mellanmar is creating, will be kid friendly as well. Which is important, that families can enjoy. And what about the price of your products? Are they competitive with your competition?
Yeah, I know it's a cutthroat market out there. I know that, but I mean, today we're priced on I'd say on a. I mean, we're not a. I mean, we're a premium product. It's a premium product, right?
Right.
So we're not the cheapest bar you'll find in the market. But on the other hand, it's not many other bars have this shrinkflation thing going on, where the bars are getting smaller and smaller.
Smaller, yes, I've noticed
the
that.
price is kind of saying like, and now the bar's like, like this big now, and it's the same price. It's like, what the,
Yes.
but I'd say that we have a good 2.11 ounce bar and I think the retail price in the more expensive stores is $3.49 for the more expensive stores. But you can also find it like on Amazon, they're slightly cheaper as well. And then we had an Olympic campaign going on during. Yeah, so that's another thing. I mean, the bars are actually marked. It actually says on the bars, because we have the Olympic Committee stamp. It says "Eat like an Olympian."
Nice.
So we had this Olympic campaign going on where we had them for cheaper as well. But we'll be doing loads of sales drives during the autumn. So I mean, if people listening into this podcast, if they just keep your eyes open, and there'll be sales drives going on. But I mean, I'd say that we're not the cheapest bar in the market, but we're definitely aiming to be the best bar in the market.
Makes a big difference. Okay, being the best and the most healthy bar in the market would say a lot.
Well, that's hoping that people feel that it's worth paying for, because I mean, you don't want to compromise. I mean, I don't want to compromise too much or anything. I mean, I don't want to compromise on what goes into the bars or into the products that we're selling.
Right.
Because and again, no offense to anybody else, but I mean, if somebody's selling something at an extremely low cost price, you always have to ask yourself, well, I know, how did they get the price down? Which corners did they cut to get the price down so much? Yes. What am I actually eating here? And a lot of the food that we're eating is, mass produced and pre-processed in such a terrible way that what we're eating isn't even nutrition anymore. It's just
it's not food. Okay.
No. So I have some stories. I remember staying in a hotel. Well, it was more of a motel actually, and there was like this, breakfast is served kind of thing. So I went around the corner and I looked and I know that I'm being a pest, right? I know that. So I went back and I said, "Where's the food? I couldn't find any food." And they were like, "Yeah, but it's just around the corner." I said, "Well, I can see waffles and Cheerios and cupcakes.
Yes.
But I don't see any food."
Yes. Food.
So, so I mean, it's. I think that we. I mean,
good for you.
I want to build a brand. Well, I mean, as I said, we're bringing in more products as well, and we're going to create our own products as well going forward. I'd love to just help people get back to eating good food. And if they're buying like a pre-packaged product, like a bar, like our bar, I want them to know that what went into the bar, it's good stuff as well. So it's that's what we're aiming for. That's the whole idea with what we're building here.
Well, that's good. It's like a company with a conscience,
Yeah, well, yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Yes, it is a company with a conscience. I feel terrible when people reach out and say, "Oh, I tried your products, I didn't like them." And so I take it very, very personal, because I mean, I really want to deliver good products, and I really want to help people. I mean, like yourself. I mean, you're doing what you're doing because you want to help people live better lives, right?
Yes, most definitely.
That's why you're doing it.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the same thing here. I mean, we actually want to. I mean, I could, if I didn't care, then I could do whatever, find the cheapest thing I could find and just flog it and then just make a buck. But that's not why I'm in business.
Good.
So
yeah, man, which is awesome to hear that. And again, I want to bring information to the public, or people like yourself, products like this that can help them. Okay. It's not about making a fast buck. It's like, how can you help society? How can you help the next person to live a healthier, more fulfilling life? And it starts with what you're putting in your body.
Yeah, exactly.
What you're putting in your body makes all the difference.
Exactly, 100%. And I think that, I mean, okay, so we're doing lots of cliches here, but I mean, I'd rather make a buck less and sleep better at night.
Yes.
Then make all the money and feel like I won't have to say any Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, we know enough people out there who live that way. We don't want that. Exactly. I agree 100%. But what's the marketing strategy now going forward for Mellanmar and Redo? What's the marketing
Yeah.
strategy?
Yeah. A very good question. I mean, right now, as I said, we've spent a lot of time, boots on the ground, working retail, and now we actually got into the first chains now. We have one chain in Minnesota, Kowalski's. They've taken us in. They can redo in all 11 stores. So we're in Kowalski's in Minnesota. So if anybody is listening to this in Minnesota, please run down to Kowalski's and get a bar and try it. If you post this on Instagram, by the way, and post yourself with a bar out to the Kowalski's, I will send you a box of redo bars. I'm just saying. No, but but now we're not switching over. But what we're doing now is that we're adding on social media. So now we're going to start activating our Instagram accounts, both the Redo Foods USA account and also the Mellanmar Sweden account. We'll be activating those. We're actively looking for ambassadors as well. So again, if there's any listeners who want to become an ambassador for us and the products that we sell, please reach out because we're happy to work with you. So we'll be leaning heavily on social media now because now we're going to try and get people to go from social media, either to buy online or help people buy online or go into the stores and buy them. So now the whole marketing strategy now is focused on social media and Instagram is channel number 1. And then TikTok will be channel number 2.
Yes, yes. Influencers are out there and they're ready to promote this product. You know what I mean? So it would do very well on TikTok and Instagram. Very well.
I mean, we had one thing that happened out of the blue. I mean, it was actually an American Olympian. She was in the 2016 and the 2020 Olympics.
Really?
She got a box of Redo bars and she actually posted on. It was so cool. She actually posted on Instagram as she was unboxing them and saying, "Hey, look at this, East Olympian. I love this." And then she loved it. But that was, we just love that one. So, but I'm just saying that, if anybody listening to this would like to help represent what we stand for and the products that we're working with, reach out and happy to talk.
Excellent. Sounds good. Now, this has been a great conversation. I learned a lot about Mellanmar and yourself and Redo, and I'm so glad that we had a chance to share some time together. What else would you like to share with my listeners before we go? In my view.
Yeah, well, I'd say that, I'll echo what you said. I mean, it starts with, what we actually put into our bodies. And I think it's also so important as well to start, thinking. Yeah, start thinking.
Yeah.
Because when you come down to it, and I know that 6 weeks of fitness, I know you have this down, but I mean, when it comes down to if you want to lose weight, what you're talking about then is that you want to probably lose body fat in order to feel a bit more sculpted and maybe get in a smaller size of clothes. And and so the short fix might be to cut down on everything the input, right?
Right.
Because that will of course then decrease the amount of calories you get in. But that's a very, as you know, that's a very short-term fix. If you want a long-term fix, you need to burn more as well. And then we're talking about activity. And then the math is simple. The more muscles you have, and I don't mean becoming a bodybuilder, I'm just meaning, being able to move and play and jump and run, right?
Yes, healthy.
The more you will burn, even sitting down and, or ever walking over to the kitchen to get a glass of water, you will burn more calories if you have more muscles than if you didn't have any.
Yes.
So start by, because it feels like I'm taking your script here, but when you ask people, sort of, why do you want to get in shape? And if people only say, well, I want to be shredded and look really good on Instagram, then that's maybe not the best target to have, because but if you can get them, if you can not get them, but if you can actually just dig deeper and if you can get an answer, like people say, because I work as a fitness instructor and trainer as well. And people say, I'd love to be able to play with my kids again.
Thank you.
I'd love to be able to run around on the grass and play ball and throw catch and whatever.
Yes.
What if I could do that? And that's the best kind of motivation you can have, because then you're active. And if you have that as a goal, then we can talk about activity, we can talk about movement, and then we can talk about also how do we fuel that movement in a best possible way with carbs and protein and water and everything like that. I mean, again, this is the 6 weeks of fitness with them, the whole thing here.
Exactly.
But I mean, but I'm saying that, if you have those kind of targets, like I want to, that's a healthy, sound way of looking at the long-term change of your life, right? And I think that's sort of where it starts.
Yes, most definitely, man. And this has been great. We're on the same page here, Donnie. It's been wonderful. And I just want to say, on behalf of my nonprofit organization, Body Scope of New York, and my 6 Weeks of Fitness programs and podcasts, I really want to thank you for coming on the show today.
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. Happy to be here. And I'll send you some bars, and we'll have a new show when you try the next flavors.
I would love to try them and continue to talk about it to my people and to the groups that I'm having. I have a 6-week program coming up, and I'll definitely talk about your redo bars. It's great.
Definitely. Yeah, and if anybody wants to, have on Instagram, you have Redo Foods USA, which is their integrated with we run there. And then you have mellanmarofsweden.com, which is our online shop. And you find the bars there. You find the bars on Amazon. So, yeah.
Oh, the bars are all over the place.
Awesome. Okay.
This is great. So, Donnie, again, take care. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm going to get this out as soon as possible. I can't wait to share it. Okay? All the best to you. Take care. All right. Bye-bye now.
All right. Bye.